On the weekend or any other day that you're off, what wakes you? If it's not your kid, your dog, your cat, or any other kind of responsibility, it's more than likely going to be the light that's coming through your window. So, according to the National Center of Biotechnology, there's two different kinds of light. There's harmful blue light, which is wavelengths between 415 millimeters and 455 millimeters. And then there's beneficial blue light, which is also known as turquoise light. So, harmful blue light can cause all kinds of eye problems and eye diseases such as eye strain, dry eye, age related macular degeneration. And the number one source of harmful blue light is actually the sun. Unfortunately, the optical industry has acknowledged these problems and they're taking massive steps to address the effects that it's causing for your eyes. So I'm going to be explaining how harmful blue light affects one's vision first. And once that's been addressed, we can talk about how harmful blue light has impacted the optical industry directly. So in order to fully comprehend the importance of blue light protection, we first need to understand the effects of it. In the same research article that was published by the National Center of Biotechnology, it's revealed that there's several harmful effects of harmful blue light. So, of course, we've gone over age-related macular degeneration, which over time makes a person lose their eyesight completely. There's eye strain, which you might feel when you're looking at the computer or your phone for an extended amount of time or any source of artificial light. There's cataracts, there's retinal damage, and then there's so much more that comes along with it. And the blue light stimulates the brain and also inhibits melatonin secretions, which affects your sleep pattern and your circadian rhythm. So when dealing with these ailments, these problems with your eyes, it's also naturally going to affect the way that you're working and your working efficiency. So if you're staring at your computer too long or for your phone for too long, assuming that you're working in an office where you're regularly looking at those kinds of things, you're going to feel that strain on your eye. And you might be looking in your HR handbook or speaking to any of your HR representatives, and what they'll tell you to do, more than likely, is to look away for 15 or so minutes or 15 or so seconds and then look back to your computer. So that addresses the symptoms, but long term, that's not the most effective way to deal with it. So fortunately, as I was saying, optical industry leaders are paying attention. So we have optical industry leaders such as Essilor and Transitions and Hoya, which are just major optical companies that create lenses, create coatings, and much more in order to address the blue eye protection that we all need. So today we're going to be focusing on glasses in particular instead of contacts. So in 1988, there was a man named Joseph Sugarman who first presented the idea of blue light protection to NASA for their astronauts who were complaining about eye strain that they had when they were out in space and they were being directly affected by the sun. So NASA was interested, and he basically created glasses that were tinted to protect them from the blue light from the sun. So that was the gateway for him to get into the optical industry as a whole and to start manufacturing glasses. And his company is actually called Blue Blocker, which still exists today. So companies such as Essilor and Transitions, they have also gotten on board, but now today blue light protection doesn't need to be tinted. It can also be clear. So for example, Transitions is a kind of lens which you might have seen anybody wearing, where it's initially clear, but then when they step outside or if they step into any kind of source of strong direct light, the lens itself turns tinted. It might turn gray or brown or anything along those lines. But indoors, that protects you from 20% of harmful blue light rays, and outside, that can protect you up to 85%. So that's a little combination of both clear and tinted. But then there are just some lenses that are just 100% clear that offer blue light protection, such as the Eyezen lens, which is 20% of blue light protection. And then Essilor has created something called a smart blue filter, which is essentially a filter that can go into almost any kind of lens that protects up to 20% of harmful blue light from reaching your eye and causing that retinal damage and preventing that eye strain and eye disease. But on top of just actual lenses, there's also coatings that can be applied over top of the lenses. So for coatings, there's all different kinds of coatings to start with. There's coatings that prevent scratches, there's coatings that prevent glare, there's coatings that prevent dust and smudge from getting on your eye, and then there's also coatings that have all of that, but then they also add blue light protection. For example, there's a coating called Crizal Prevencia. So Crizal Prevencia protects the wearer on this coating from 20% of harmful blue lights. And if you've ever been to an optician, your optician may have suggested giving you a coating or a special kind of lens that can also protect you from harmful blue light. There's another kind of lens called Kodak Total Blue, which can block up to 86% of harmful blue wavelengths, and that one's also clear. So throughout the optical industry, there's so many options from clear to tinted, and from clear straight to tinted in one lens, which is impressive. But in a study published by ProQuest and conducted by B. Hammond, Srinivasan, and Suryakumar, there's blue blocking technology that has little to no effect on visual acuity. So that is to say, when you're wearing these glasses or you have this coating on your lens, you might be thinking, oh, well, how is this going to affect my vision as opposed to a lens or a coating that doesn't have this blue light blocking? There's virtually not going to be any kind of effect on the lens at all. So what you're getting is a really clear, sharp lens that is going to help you to see clearer and also protect you from harmful blue light. So these are ways that the optical industry, just a few examples that the optical industry is taking to address harmful blue light. As more and more people become aware of the effects of harmful blue light, an interest in these products is also growing as well. So as harmful blue light can be found anywhere on the globe, this affects virtually anyone who can see at all. The only people that aren't impacted by this are people who don't have sight. So for the majority of us, harmful blue light is a major issue that most of us aren't really aware of or aren't really taking actions to prevent. So harmful blue light wasn't really addressed until the late 80s when it was first invented by Mr. Sugarman in 1988. And since then we've seen major leaps in progression in lenses themselves and anti-scratch coatings. So blue light prevention has caught on for glasses, so it'll be a matter of time before the market of blue light prevention catches on for contact lenses as well. But it's important for all of us to take steps to prevent the transmission of harmful blue light to our eyes for our future and to protect the vision for our kids in the future as well, because since the sun is going to be around, this is going to be an impact long term.